Hello everyone, Ben here, and today I'm going to try and help you get best value out of iRacing. But before we get going, there's going to be loads of iRacing content on the channel in the weeks and months to come. We've already set off on our online career in the USF 2000 Championship, which you can see here. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of it. To state the very obvious, iRacing is expensive. Even if I were to tell you that it's a long-term commitment and if you compare it with your Netflix subscription it isn't that bad really, it's expensive. More so than any other sim on the market. To buy every bit of content in iRacing costs well over £1,000. But even if you didn't do that, just running individual series can soon see the costs mount up. This video isn't here to debate the merits of that. Instead, I want to show you some ways that as a new player you can mitigate how much you spend and make sure you get the most value from what you do spend. I'm really still new to iRacing and so totally understand how daunting it can be to a first time player and how overwhelming it can all seem. Your subscription to iRacing doesn't even really begin to cover the cost of accessing the content you're going to want to play in the game. So while taking advantage of first time subscriber discounts is definitely a good idea and any sales to top up your subscription time, really it's in understanding how racing seasons work and how to get the most from your content that really matters when it comes to keeping your iRacing spending under control. So in this guide I want to set out a series of ways in which you can plan your iRacing career with being able to race every week while keeping spending down to a minimum as your objective. You could spend less than I'm going to cover here simply by sticking to the rookie content or by driving less, but I'm assuming you want more from the sim than that. I can't promise that this will mean you don't invest significantly in iRacing, but if you do follow these steps, you'll at least get more from what you do spend, and you might avoid the need to remortgage your house in the process. For me, iRacing is best seen as a simulation of a motorsport career, rather than a game where you unlock or play all of the content at once. The worst mistake I think you can make when thinking about iRacing is to go into it with a view to access all that it has to offer, all at the same time. If you pick up a game like Forza Motorsport, it's totally normal to want to collect as many of the cars as you can, switching between classes and circuits very quickly. Even in a more serious sim like Assetto Corsa Competizione, it's tempting to dot between GT4 and GT3 and the different manufacturers on offer from race to race. iRacing is very different. It's predominantly a platform for competitive online racing. The way it's structured, from its sharp focus on driving safety right the way through to its pricing model, all incentivize you to pick a category of racing, get good at it, and compete in whole seasons of racing. If you do this, not only are you likely to get better as a driver and achieve better results, you're also much more likely to get best value from the money that you do put into iRacing. When you start the game, you have just enough content to progress out of the rookie class in your favourite discipline, whether that's road, oval, dirt or dirt oval. You could use this initial time with the game to try out each discipline and decide which you most enjoy, although be warned that the player base for road and oval is significantly higher than the dirt categories, which may impact your enjoyment as you progress. But when you've secured your D license and it comes to moving into a different series outside of the rookies, you'll be presented with a huge amount of choice and even more ways of spending big money. Every individual car and track that does not come with the base subscription will cost you, so if your aim is to expand your racing horizons and progress your career while mitigating the amount you spend, you could opt for a series which includes the most amount of content you already own. Let's take a look at the live example from Season 2 in 2021. The Mazda MX-5 Cup car, the Pontiac Solstice and the VW Jetta TDI Cup are all eligible for the SimLabs Production Car Challenge. These are cars that you already own, so there's no more expense required there to have a car to run in the series. A quick look at the Season 2 schedule shows that a decent amount of the tracks that you get with the base subscription are also used in this series, to the extent that if you wanted to run all 12 weeks of the series, you'd only need to buy 5 tracks, which, taking into account bulk discounts, which we'll cover shortly, would come to around £50. However, to place competitively in the championship and to earn iRacing credits to spend on future content purchases, which we'll also cover shortly, you only have to run 8 weeks of any series per season. So in reality you could get away with only purchasing a single additional track at around £11. And the racing in the series is likely to be great and help you to develop as a sim racing driver. Currently the season features 25-minute races with lots of different manufacturers competing. For those weeks where you don't have a race in that series, you could look for other one-off races to participate in from other series that also use the content that you already own or involve minimal additional purchases. A quick comparison shows how much money you could save if you adopted this approach. If you wanted to enter the Skip Barber series, you'd need to buy the Skippy car, and then as you only own 2 of the 12 tracks that are currently making up the season schedule in Season 2 2021, even to run the reduced season of 8 races, you'd need to buy 6 tracks. This means choosing this series is likely to end up costing a minimum of just over £60. That's around 80% more expensive than the shorter season SimLabs Production Car Challenge. And if you ran the full season of the Skip Barber, the difference would be even greater. So that gives you one example of a lower cost option for your first full season, but the principles remain the same when thinking about future seasons too. You could set yourself a budget for each 12-week season, and when the series details are released for each new season, look for the series that you can afford to run based on the cars and tracks required. Over time, you'll build out the content you own and more options will open up. In order to help you identify and choose the right series on this basis, there are a number of third-party websites and tools that can be very helpful. The first is the iRacing Buyer's Guide, which will show you which cars and tracks are running in which series and what license you need to qualify for them, as well as which of the cars and tracks are free to own. In using this guide, you can cross-reference the content you own versus that which you'll need and work out whether you can stick to your budget and still compete in your chosen series. The second is iRacing Stats, which shows you how many players are participating in each series race. This will help you judge how popular different content options are, so that if you do choose to invest in a series, you can be confident you're going to get good races, and that it's more likely that they'll continue to feature prominently as part of the iRacing season schedules. I've left links to both of these resources in the description below. If you're in need of several pieces of iRacing content all at once, you should also make sure to check on the availability of bulk discounts. At the time of recording, if you purchase 3 to 5 pieces of eligible content, either cars or tracks, all at once, then you'll receive a 10% discount. If you purchase 6 or more, you get a 15% discount. Other discounts for even bigger bulk purchases do exist, but to be honest, if you're buying that much content in one go, then this guide probably isn't that useful for you, full stop. Race participation credits can also help get you the best value from iRacing. If you complete 8 races from a 12-race season, you'll be awarded iRacing credits. You'll receive around £3 per official C and D class season that you complete, and around £5 for each official A and B class season. In total, that means you could earn £32 of iRacing credits per year, depending on the number of series you run at once. Finally, if you refer a friend to join iRacing, you can get a referral bonus of around £7 in iRacing credit to spend on further content or to extend your current subscription. Do check the discount section of the iRacing UI for the most up-to-date offers and all terms and conditions. So there you go, some quick ways of minimising the amount that you end up spending in iRacing while still being able to progress your online career. Let me know in the comments if there are other ways in which you think you can enjoy iRacing on a budget, and if you found this guide helpful, do leave a like and subscribe to the channel for lots more iRacing content in the future. I'll see you next time.